are we live now?
Yeah, we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Irby Jones and Jimmy Music Man Jones, and we're ready to do our podcast. First of all, we had a couple of problems with the internet, and so we're getting started a little bit late.
Well,
But
say hello to Mike Tyson. Hey, Mike, we're on the podcast now. Tell Ryan Coogler that, well, he can see it later, but tell Ryan we're on because you're
well,
handling things for him now because he's doing some movie business stuff.
I
Hey, Bon
wound up getting.
Jovi. Bon Jovi, when you see this, tell your band you guys cannot compare to Rare Earth.
Oh well,
Anyway,
don't fight
he
with
got a
Bon
hold of me
Jovi.
yesterday, Irby.
Well,
I don't care
eh,
about Bon Jovi.
anyhow, my VA doctor told me to reapply again, so I did another one.
Okay.
This time, I was contacted by an outside agency, and they're sending a car for me to
Good.
go to Columbus, Ohio, to get an interview with a private doctor. If
Good.
I wind up getting this, I'll be retroactive on $2,300 for 4 years. That's $5,000 back.
Well,
Anyhow, so
your brother's going to be in the movie Irby playing a veteran on
on
post
what?
traumatic syndrome. I sent you a picture
Oh yeah, I know what you're
of
talking.
it. Yeah, the producer has a movie out now called Sinners. It's Inners. It's a real big hit now. That's in the big screen box office. And
Oh,
we're trying to write my part. He needs my help to write my part of a veteran. It's a
do you have PESI?
I have the phone Irby.
What?
I'm trying to explain it to you.
Oh, go ahead.
He's sending me some script, and I would do acting Irby. I would do acting on the phone instead of going out to L.A. There's too many problems out there, obviously.
Yeah, no
I don't want
shit.
to be near that place. He lives in Orange County, though.
Yeah, well, that's south of LA.
So I told him to be safe, but he doesn't seem concerned. Irby, he's a top 5 producers, so I don't think he has to worry about anything.
Well, anyhow, let's get started with the podcast. I got a script here, and you've seen parts of it.
I'm
And
chewing gum.
huh?
Nothing.
I know. Okay, here's we're going to talk about hot topics first. And what do you think about what's happening with Elon Musk and Trump right now?
They'll work it out.
Yeah.
They'll work it out. They're grown men.
Well, it doesn't mean that grown men fuck up too. You know.
Yeah, who cares? They're all nuts.
You don't
I,
think
I,
Trump is
I,
nuts,
I
do
just
you?
all I know is they're sending the Marines in. About time.
Yeah.
No, they are for real. Do you
Seven
think it's
hundred
bad
of them.
now, Irby? Wait till the weekend.
Well, those fuckers in L.A. You know, they're running around burning shit and burning American flags and raising the Mexican flag. They got to be fucking nuts.
Well, they are, but it's all planned.
Well, so somebody is supporting it. Somebody's providing all the shit
Well,
they're
they
doing.
found out who. They know now. They're not going to play around anymore.
Who's
You know,
doing it?
It's going to get real ugly this weekend.
Who's the one that's supporting it? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't know the names, but it's 2 of the organizations that Biden funded, just like a ghost company, and that those funds were going to the protesters and all that kind of stuff.
Boy.
Yeah,
We
it's really bad. I don't know. I just think we're really in for a bad weekend.
We got to get Biden in jail so he can shut him the fuck up.
He won't even know where the hell he is.
Yeah, well, anyhow, that's anyhow, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh?
I think he's nuts for even playing anymore.
When he was playing for the Jets, he got hurt and he didn't play.
I do not understand his thinking, Irby. He can't be. He's not think. He's called the Hat Man, and I hope he sees this because I know all about you, Aaron. And
Well,
Nick
didn't
Sirianni. Nick Sirianni will see this, by the way. Hi, Nick. Jimmy Jones here. You want me to go on Nate Hackett's podcast to make me a star? I don't need that.
I tell you, I never really liked Aaron Rodgers when he was a quarterback.
No, he's gonna get hurt. Why is Pittsburgh doing that? Well, they got rid of that coach, right?
Well, that's what I heard. I haven't seen anything on it. No.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the Browns trading Nick Chubb's?
Yeah. What was your thinking on that?
Oh, I tell you what, I think the Browns. I'm so fucking fed up with them and the front office. You know, every quarterback that they've had in the last 4 or 5 years, they fucked them up.
Yeah, I told Nick Sirianni what you're saying about their coach, and he said, "Don't say any more. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's a great coach." I said, "We'll leave it at that, Nick. We're getting along now, so I don't want to go there with you." And he said, "Good," because he said he's a good coach and he's a good guy. See, Nick is really a Browns fan of me. For some reason, he's from Cleveland. I guess went to college there or something, but he really loves the Browns. So what are they going to do with Deshaun? We didn't get into it. He wants to talk, but I didn't have time.
Right now, what's on the news, and you can't believe what the news fucking says, but they said he's not going to be able to play in 2025. Okay,
I know that.
All right, so if he sits out,
he's working out. He looks great on. I told him on Instagram. He's all over Instagram. He's working out.
Well, the Browns will fuck him up, just like the Browns. You know, they get all this fucking shit with Sanders. You know, they can't.
Who's going to quarterback?
Huh?
Who's going to quarterback?
Well, right now it's supposed to be what the hell's his name? The one that coached that quarterback 2 years ago.
Not Flacco. He's not going back.
Yeah,
is Flacco coming back?
Yeah.
Well, you'll do all right hitting this with him.
Yeah, I know, but they don't. They're still in. They don't know who's going to fucking start. Whether Flacco is going to start, or whether Sanders will start, or one of the other two guys. But I saw a video the other day of a passing thing. Flacco did real good.
Yeah,
Sanders did.
I liked him, Irby.
Huh?
I like Flacco.
Yeah, I like Flacco too. He's a hero in Cleveland. So
well, he came in, but he's on and off. You know what I mean?
He's old.
Well, they all are.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really judge him by that.
By getting rid of Nick Chubb.
What happened to him now? He's done, right?
Yeah, he's going to be playing for the Houston Texans.
Oh, Nick Chubb is. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Well, how the hell do I know?
That, I don't know. Well, you didn't talk to um, Deshaun, but
I will.
they don't. They don't have any running backs now. That means to say that they think you're going to fucking pass the way to the NFL
Oh,
playoffs.
no. Here comes a freak.
That's
Let's
what I
move
mean.
on. They're on doing the draft. All right, go
Well,
ahead. It's not that
that's,
bad. What is
that's
this third person on here?
where
On the phone, I see like a square for another person.
I don't know who that is. It says Irvy.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I see Irby.
I don't know what Jimmy's done there. What our promoter, not our promoter, but our engineer has done.
All
But
right. Well,
yeah, well,
give a plug for my producer that I'm going to be working with. Okay,
yeah.
Ryan Coogler, Irby, and the movie Sinners is doing really well in the box office at the big screen. Ryan Coogler, he's going to watch this, Irby, by the way.
Okay.
He's been on me to get this done. So, hello, Ryan Coogler. I'm saying your name, and the pictures out there of that your company put together of what I'm going to look like. It has me with a bunch of tattoos, Irby. Yeah, my whole arm is full of tattoos. I look a little older. I look a little
Did you ever did you
weathered,
ever
but
go to get
that
a
was a
tattoo
perfect
when
look.
you were in the Marines?
Now, we were drunk one night, and they all got them, but me.
Yeah, I did the same thing a couple times, and by the time they got to me, I said I didn't want to do it.
No, I didn't either. I backed out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this guy's running this damn. All right. So how we doing with this podcast? Anybody see this?
Oh, Jimmy, let me tell you about it. Do you get any requests for stuff?
Do I get what?
Do you get any emails or text messages about the podcast?
No, I don't.
Oh, I do. Okay. I got people asking for autographs. I got people saying that they wanna be notified when the next podcast is.
Well, how
Uh,
many? 5 people? I mean,
no, there are hundreds of people out there watching it.
Oh. Well, Mike was trying to get on now to watch it. But
Well,
then
you
he
can't.
sent a
You
long
can't.
email, text. I told you a voicemail. I'll read it after we're done. He
Okay.
was because
We're not.
Ryan Coolidge had to do some movie business work, and he said he got on Tyson to keep Mike's.
Mike's what?
Well, somebody's texting me.
Well,
Okay.
don't do anything with it. Okay. So anyhow, Tyson can't see this podcast until we do it, and Dylan has to do some shit with it, and then he posts it. That's why Dylan will tell you, you can't see it until sometime tonight, and he'll let you know when it's out there, and you can go look at it, and you can tell Myson, and he can go look at it.
All
So
right.
okay. Anyhow, I got some more questions. Uh, what? Ask Jimmy. It says here to ask Jimmy about Ryan Kugler.
Google it.
Who's that?
Somebody's texting me again.
Go fuck it.
All right.
Who's
I just
Kugler?
let it go.
Yeah, let it.
All day long. I can't even go on my phone anymore.
Well, just forget about it. Right now, you're doing the podcast. Who's Ryan Kugler?
A producer. He has a hit movie now
Oh, that
called
guy. Okay, okay,
The Sinners. Oh, that guy. Well, Mike Tyson put me on to him, Irby.
okay.
And that's how we met about 3 weeks ago now. It's going on 3 weeks. And then he wants me to do that part. And so he sent me a initial ad of how it's going to, and I sent you guys that.
Yeah.
And I posted it, but I'm going to help him. He needs my help to write his script. That's the only thing that's not done, to my knowledge, is the main character, me, being a veteran, all strung out, back from Vietnam, basically, or back from war, how they. And it's a intense movie. He's really Irby. He's one of the top producers in the country. And Sinners is really a hot movie. Tyson said, you got to see it. And Deshaun said, Jimmy, go to the movie. And I got clips of it. And it's really a good film. They say it's doing excellent at the box office.
Wow.
I think this one's going to be bigger. This one's going to be real big. And your brother will be, I'll be in it.
And you're going to be a Marine Corps killer, huh?
Well, he needs my feedback a little bit. He's writing that part now. He's got to finish, but he said it won't even be in the big screen theaters. A year would be quick. More like maybe 2 years at most. It'll be out there on the big screen.
Then I can go to the movies and see you, huh?
Yeah, it'd be neat. Hope I live that long.
Yeah, that's what I hope we both live that long.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be really neat, Irby. That's why he sent me the initial advertisement. It's really, you got to look at it. Behind me are a bunch of troops. It shows military people behind me, and then it focuses on me. I look like an old, burned out veteran.
Well, that's what you are.
Yeah, it shows me he put dog tags on me, and he just, he's really a pro. So you got to study the picture. You can tell it's really professionally done. This guy, well, it's Ryan Coogler. I mean, I didn't know who he was, but I don't follow movies.
Yeah.
But, I asked him, is it okay to talk about the movie? He said, absolutely. Mention my name. So, Ryan Coogler, your name is mentioned, and we'll be talking, buddy. And Mike Tyson is the reason I got this part, Irving. All because of Mike.
Well, you'll do a good part because you are.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it at all. Either is he.
But
either is he, because I'm not an actor, but I said my whole life's been a movie. Basically, music business is nuts. Why are you placing Rare Earth behind this?
What do you like Keanu West transformation into a Nazi?
Who? Keanu West?
Keanu West.
The rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking, but that's a year ago now. I went off of TikTok.
Yeah, I know you did.
I've been off that about 6 months. But that's how I met him on TikTok. And then he wrote a rap song about your brother.
Oh.
Yeah, he posted it on TikTok. But, I haven't talked to him since. It's been like a year since I've spoken to, Keanu West. He was going to run for president, remember?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But,
Mike knows him,
So is Shithead from California going to run for president?
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, with all that's going on, he won't have nobody's going to, Irby. Unless the Democrats, like they keep saying on Fox, it's going to be somebody we're not even talking about. However, I like Fetterman. I think he's going to be the guy.
He's kind of, he's the only politician out there that that goes both ways.
Yeah. Well, he's got he's got common sense.
Well, that's
and
why
he understands. He's not. They can't get him to go radical like the other crazy people. But I don't know what the argument is, about people that are riding and they can't. Well, that's all planned. We know that.
Yeah. Well, I said here.
That's planned.
You recently met Bon Jovi.
Well, what happened is he had a on Facebook. I'm on Facebook now because Randy died, and he was on Facebook. So to communicate with everybody that was mourning his loss, I went on Facebook. So I've been on there for like a month, and then he came. He's all over the place, and I made a comment there. I said, Bon Jovi, I booked you when you were with a copy band at the Shiloh, and I started to name drop who I knew in Philadelphia. And everybody I knew, Johnny's Dance Band, Bill Ibe, Robert Havison, of course. And all of a sudden I get this text from him 2 days ago, said, I don't answer my comment, but I read your comment. And would you please give me your number? I really would like to meet you. And I replied with my number, and I said, we really have nothing to talk about. I really don't like your band. I think you're a pretty boy band, long-haired band. But here's my number. And I haven't heard from him, so I don't know. I haven't. But I haven't really, pursued it. And I don't intend to. I never liked them or Bon Jovi.
I like some of his music.
Well, he's got one song that's really, really good.
Which one's that?
I forget the name. I didn't like him. Living on a Prayer.
Oh, I don't even. I'm not.
Yeah, Living on a Prayer. But it's a good song. But that's all that I really connected to. That was good. But yeah, I'll talk to him.
If we look at your music career, what are your favorite memories?
My favorite memories? I'm talking to Eddie. I'm talking to Eddie Ritchie again.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Our one friend made it big. I had what the hell? I've forgotten his name. It slips my mind. We're talking about it today. He wrote a hit. He wrote a song. I got the song to basically Eddie Ritchie, we got the song to Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond recorded it.
Yeah.
And on a beat, it was like a semi-hit. It didn't chart. But yeah. What the hell was his name? He opened up Blood, Sweat, and Tears. But the biggest fond memory is recording Jeff Beck live, Irby.
Jeff Beck, yeah.
Yeah, I did Jeff Beck live. I don't think anybody believes me, but it's true, And the story behind that is I got a call from who ended up running the whole music industry. I always told you about Abby Conowitz.
Yeah.
Abby called me because I took Jeff Beck to Rochester, Irby, the next day. He was co-billing with Beach Boys, who Brian Wilson just died. And I took him, me and Randy took him to Rochester because he was playing that day with the Beach Boys. We went after Reading, we went to Rochester in the morning. He was on the bill up there. But Abby called me and said, Jimmy, we were looking for a ring that Jeff Beck lost. And he said, this ring means more to him than money and fame. And I said, oh my God, really? He said, by chance, I don't know, we're looking at all the dates he played. Can you look over the theater and see if you can find it? He said, I'm not expecting you to find it. And I said, yeah, I'm hungover. I said, we partied like hell, but I'm on my way to the office now. At the Astor, I had Barry Manilow coming the next week or two. And I went there, I walked around the theater, and by some chance, I looked over at the side of the stage, and some light hit it, and I saw this ping like a light. I went, what the hell's that over there? Oh my God, the ring was there. There was this ring. You should have seen the ring. It was Indian made, had all that Indian jewelry, and an American Indian made it for his mother. I think that was the story behind it and why it was so precious. And I called Abby, and I said, Abby, I found the ring. And he said, you gotta be kidding me, like that. I said, no, I found the ring. And he said, hang on. I said, all right. I was in the office, and Jeff Beck got on the call. He was like almost crying early. And I said, I need, he was back in England, and he threw the ring. I was offered, back then, it was 1976. I was offered $2,000 for it. I told some people, obviously, and they said, what do you want for it? I said, it's not for sale. I'll give you $2,000. Cash was flying all over, and I didn't do it. Back then, $2,000 was some money for me. Still is. Anyway, I insured it and sent it back to Jeff Beck in England. And now, after that, the tie was bonded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You experienced it by seeing him at the Hall of Fame. What did he do?
No, I saw him in Columbus. Okay.
I'm saying that in Ohio. Oh my God, Irving.
Well, I went. I was going to be in Columbus, and Debbie gave me a whole stack of records. Okay.
Yeah. What happened? You saw Jeff Beck was coming to go in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Well, I was waiting at his hotel, and he comes up, and he basically said,
Let me get the gum in here. I'm getting my implants put in, Irving, so I don't put my teeth in. I didn't get them fixed yet, so I chew the gum. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So anyhow, his manager who was with him said to him,
Yeah.
this guy's a brother of Jimmy Jones, the guy that found your ring. He signed a whole stack of albums I had.
And he's a real laid back guy. What did he do? What is his chemistry like? When he told me, he had to get excited though.
He did, and that's what I said. He signed all the goddamn albums I had.
He took you to his motel room.
No, I didn't go to his motel room because he's waiting for a girl.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
where he signing? Right on the walkway or what?
Right in the parking lot. I must have had 20 albums, and he signed all of them.
Wow, that's cool.
What would you say was the craziest thing you had did in the music industry?
Oh, the worst thing was Bill Cosby. I told that story.
You didn't tell it on the podcast. Yeah, tell a story about Bill Cosby. That's got to be.
That'll take too long, Irving. I mean, he flew in on a jet he was going to buy. And Earl and Mom and I met him at the airport in Reading. And he got out, walked over to me. I said, I'm Jimmy Jones promoting you. Oh, nice to meet you. And we took him back to Sheraton, and Mom had framed a special ad I ran in the paper for him to sign. And I was checking him in at the Sheraton. And I said, here, sign this. Weren't you told by Phil Citron that I don't sign autographs? And I said, what? I don't do autographs. I said, you're doing this one. This is for my mother. And he grabbed it reluctantly. I said, if we're going to start out like this, we're going to have a major problem, Mr. Cosby, because I don't give a flying fuck who you are. You're not the first guy I've ever promoted. And he said, aren't you tired to argue? And I said, good. I'm tired of you already. And he went into his room and he called me. He did say, and he simmered down. He said, pick me up at noon and show me the town and let's do it. He was in the track area, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Cosby was in the track, running, sprinting, long distance, really. So I was too. So the next day I picked him up. I said, I don't have a limousine. I gotta wait. No, get over here now. So I hopped in a car that could barely run, kept overheating. He didn't care. So we went to Wilson High School and the track was locked at the gate. I said, let me go up. I went to school here. Let me go up and get the sports director and open up the gate. No, 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 no. He said, the whole place will be here. I said, yeah, you're right. So we drove around. We went to Lion Missing. It was just an open field there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, we stopped in West Reading. He bought a time clock to time our sprints, right?
Yeah,
And he gave the clerk a heart. He's just a total asshole, Irby.
yeah.
And we did some sprinting. We got along, fairly well then throughout the whole day until the nighttime. That's when the shit hit the fan. Because he wasn't sold out, and he brought race card into it. And he said, I had to sell out. I go, not sell out. I said, you did. I turned the house. It was 2,400 seats. I thought he'd do 5,000 people, The first show we did 1,000. Second show we did maybe 1,500. And we started arguing about I didn't advertise to the black, and I did. Not stupid. I knew that. So that's all we did basically, and they just didn't sell tickets for it. And just one thing led to another. We were backstage. He wanted some special espresso, and I had to drive. He said, I'm not going on until I get my special espresso. And I said, the hell you're not. And he said, why? I want my espresso. And I said, if you don't go on now, it was 8 o'clock. People were waiting. I said, and he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going out to the microphone and telling you're being an asshole. And he grabbed me by my shirt. I said, you ever touch me again, you won't be able to do a show. And he said, all right, let's get this over with. Get me the fuck out of this town. I said, but you don't live that far away. His mother lives in Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, he was from Philly.
Mm-hmm. So he did his first show. He walked off. And he said to me, no coffee yet. I said, it'll be here shortly. He said, all right. I said, you got to go on. Second show's ready. And he said, I want my coffee. I said, he'll be here. The guy had to drive an hour away to get this special coffee. When I got it, he was doing his second show. I held it up. He looked off the stage left. And he said, I was like, just held the coffee up. And he waved like, no. He sat on a stool. I wait, and he said, no. Like, no, don't come out here now. I'm doing my routine. And I went like this, fuck you. I walked Irby. Mom was there. I walked out. I went to the microphone. I said, here's your fucking coffee, Cosby. And gave me this coffee, Irby. The place did me a standing ovation. He drank the coffee, and he said, this promoter, I don't know what he meant. This promoter, Jimmy Jones, has a nail in his foot. What does that mean?
I mean that you walk around in circles.
Really?
Yeah. Because you have a nail in your shoe, and all your shoe does is spin when you try and walk.
Oh, my God.
You didn't know what that meant?
I knew it meant something, and then it did. I knew that. And then he was done with the show. Everything, we did the box office, paid him I paid him back then $35,000. And we were short. So I said, hey, we're short a little bit. And he said, well, send the check up to William Morris agency. I said, okay. And we did the next day. But anyway, he said, get me the fuck out of Reading, Pennsylvania. And I said, because if you don't, I will, Bill. But if you don't, I'm going to grab you by the fucking neck, you son of a bitch. shake you because I didn't know what nail in the shoe meant other than I knew it meant something bad. I knew that. So we got him out. That was the worst one because he said to me, "Have you advertised this right?" I said, "Hold it. Before we keep arguing, guess who's coming here 2 weeks from now?" "Who?" And I said, "George Carlin." I said, "2 shows like you, Bill." "Guess what, Bill? They're both sold out." And he just
Yeah.
got quiet. And after he's like, "Get me the fuck out of here." I said, and Carlin was a great herb. He wanted to hire me after we did the show here. He said, "Any East Coast state, I want Jim Jones to promote it and go on the road with me." And if
Yeah,
Jerry Hamza ever sees this, hi, Jerry. Jerry Hamza is his manager, late George Carlin's manager. And I didn't go on the road with him because I couldn't get anybody. I said, "Man, this is a real deal here. You know, the guy, we can do all George Carlin dates in a tri-state area here on the East Coast." But you know how the Reading people were about back in show business back then, Earth.
yeah.
That was a no-brainer with George Carlin back then. I had him when he was really hot.
Oh,
And
he was fucking funny, man.
he was funny because they didn't have air conditioning in the Raja back then. And George walked out. He and I smoked a joint, and we were both so silly high on pot back then. We were both laughing our nuts off. And he went out, and he didn't say anything, Ovi, for 5 minutes. Around that much, and he looked up in the sky and he said, "Where's the fucking air conditioning?" And that was the beginning of a night of belly holding laughter with that guy, Obi. I mean, genuinely funny guy and a nice guy. Oh my God. But that was 2 different comics I did, and see how one can be. But Bill Cosby, you know, I was warned about him. I was warned about James Brown too.
Yeah,
I booked James Brown over.
Yeah, I know.
I did him, and I was told specifically by his Alan Epstein, "Tim, he's really tough to work with, man. You're in for hell." And I said, you know, I've been around bad ones, bad entertainers. He ended up hiring me over. He did the show at Reading High School gym and held 5,000. He didn't do that well. It was a Sunday night. And I took care of him in a way that he wanted to be taken care of. So he was happy as a pig in shit. So, you know, Bruce Springsteen could not follow him. Bruce Springsteen, who I've been arguing with back and forth. Did I send you that voice, that thing he did?
Yeah.
I owed him an apology.
Did you ever do Springsteen?
Yeah. In fact, I did him at Albright College. He got $3,500 back then. I booked through the student activities.
Do you like him?
I did him there. I did Mountain there. I did Robert Hazard there. I did Stephen Stills there and the Nashville band at Albright. They had like a fund. They would do yearly concerts, and I used to book it for them. So I did quite a few shows. I just told you the shows I did there. But I did Stephen Stills at the Astor. Remember that?
Yeah.
I had to refund half of the ticket money. He did only 40 minutes, and he was so fucked up on coke he could barely move his jaw. and he was acoustic, but he was with a band at Albright, and he did so much coke there, we had to take him off stage and get him we didn't take him to the hospital, we took him back to the Sheraton, and they finished the show, because there was a whole bunch of all-stars with Stephen Stills. What an asshole that guy was, Irby. I hope people see this. That's why I want to write that book. People don't understand them. And Joe Walsh and I were getting along well. I told you all that.
Oh, Joe Walsh.
Politics. Well, I was coming to Cleveland to meet him and his manager, Spiro. And Joe and I got into it.
Oh, talking about did you talk to Ken about Rick Derringer?
Oh yeah. Hey, I heard that. I was sad to hear that. I promoted Rick Derringer so many times. I promoted him, and I the only 17 years. It was Rick Derringer, Edgar Winter, and Johnny Winter. They were the big deal to fill 20,000 seats. They hadn't played together for 17 years. Guess what your brother did?
What?
Got them to play together.
Oh,
They didn't know it. They didn't know it. I talked to each agent separately, right?
Yeah.
That they were playing the Scottish Rite Cathedral. Made the
What
deal.
did
Quickly sent the deposit, and the three of them got wind. Hey, oh my God, you got us playing together. You know that's a $50,000 show. And I said, not to me, it isn't. You're all deposited. So they did a hell of a show though. Live Nation picked up the rest of the dates, and the three of them did a tour because, I couldn't get backing for the three of them. Because Darren just said, do us in other venues. We want you to promote us again. Couldn't get the backing here in Reading.
Did Ken play for him on your shows?
Yeah, on one show.
On one show.
I did Derringer at the Scottish Rite with what the hell I doing with? I think with Dave Mason or something like that. And Dave Mason and I were real. Dave Mason. I hope Dave Mason sees this because I'd like to talk to Dave again. It's been a while.
Is that when you met Ken?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, because we got.
He was out in the parking lot, and I said, I heard him say, "Diodato, it's Ken," and I looked over and I said, "Are you on with Diodato?" And he said, "You know how nice Ken is." He said, "Yeah, who was you, sir?" He was real nice. I said, "I'm promoting the show with you and opening up. You and Darren's just opened up. I think it was Dave Mason. I'm not. I don't quote me on that. Well, I said it already. I think it was." And that's when we became friends, and friends ever since. And he's living with Diodato now.
Yeah.
And he was really upset, hearing about Derringer, of course.
I saw him. I saw he did a video that was on TikTok that I saw when he was talking about Derringer. So anyhow, I think we need to come to an end. I got one other question to end with. Okay, what advice would you give anybody who wanted to get into the music business? Don't do it.
Yeah, what did Biden say? Don't.
Yeah.
Remember Biden. Don't.
We'll see you in the next show.
See you again, Mike. Remember Mike Tyson, Ryan Coogler.
Have a good one, guys.
And look for the movie. Look for the movie of a spaced out, burned out veteran. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Go see the movie Sinners, Irby.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm waiting for it. Hope we're both alive by the time it comes out.
Yeah, I'm
Bye.
myself on a big screen. Okay. Bye.